back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, well, by the title of the video, you know what's going on. Welcome back to my chaotic life where I go broke fixing junk like this. Yeah. So, 1985 Chevy S10, two-wheel drive, long bed, regular cab, as you can see. I wish it was extended cab because my tall butt would be a lot more comfortable than this. But anyway, we're going to be putting a gas tank in this thing. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Pretty much ever since I started this build, about 5.5 years ago, something like that, give or take. So, yeah, we're going to get into this and get all the parts laid out. It's taken forever to get the parts ordered for this truck. It's unreal. So, gas tank from Rock Auto, about 100, I think it was like 140 bucks, way cheaper than anywhere else I could find it. Sending unit, oh my gosh, man, I mean, it is like pulling teeth, or you know, trying to find a needle in a haystack trying to get this sending unit. There's the part number if you want to try to get one, FG06G. But good luck to you, and I mean good luck, because I mean to tell you, it was getting to the point where I was not going to have a sending unit at all. And they show some off of Amazon that say they're for this. They're not for this. They're wrong, because the ones off of Amazon has a sock on the bottom, not this tube, and the harness has a plug. See, this one is a male plug. The one on Amazon is a female plug, and it will not work unless you cut it off and rewire it. However, the yellow piece right here that you see is different too. It doesn't have this. It has like a little push-on clip, kind of like the ground wire has right there. So, anyway, finally tracking this down. That was about, around the same, 100 and something. I think it was like almost 150 bucks for that. This one was 132. We'll grab it out in a minute. There's the old gas tank. That is a 13-gallon gas tank. This is a 20, and I'm pretty much gonna just snap right through this and show you that a 13 or a 20 will swap over from a 13-gallon tank real easy. You don't have to change your straps. You don't have to do any of that mess. It's just pretty much pulling it out and swapping it over. Now, the reason I'm going to this sending unit is because this truck has a 2.8 carbureted V6. And later on down the road, whenever the V8 swap happens, it will be carbureted. And I won't need the factory 2.5 fuel tank pump anymore. The mechanical pump was sucking through every bit of this. And about a month or so ago, heck, it's probably been longer than that now, the fuel pump died on the block. You can see the filter that I installed with an extra line, because the 3/8 filter and the 3/8 line, it would not fit how it's supposed to be, because they're too close together, from the line that comes from the frame up to the mechanical pump. Alright, so there's the pump, and boy did I ever have fun trying to track that guy down. That was not easy. And I actually see it's leaking a little bit of gasoline for some reason. Great. I hope I don't have to change that pump again, because getting the pump that is for this 82 model block is a nightmare. The one, I could not get one from the parts store, so I go to O'Reilly's. I go to them. They get me one, 3 days. I get it. Come to find out, the pump's not even right. I'll try to drop the picture in this clip somewhere and show you which one was which. Anyhow, long story short, this is a 85 model pump on an 82 model block. It'll work. Everything is interchangeable. It's the fuel line is the problem. The one that I got new that was supposed to be the same as the 82 pump was not. The line itself that comes, the metal line that's on the bottom of the 82, in fact, was like turned this way a little bit. I had to modify a new line. I wasn't going to do that, so I went to my other parts engine that came out of this truck, took the mechanical pump off of it because I knew it worked. Threw it on here, threw the fuel line off of it onto here because the fuel line supply is on the top of this pump, not on the bottom. And then threw a filter on here. I already got some dirt from the old tank. And, you know, it ran fine. It's good to go. And yes, it's zip tied to the damn frame. I don't really care. You can hate me in the comments all you want. But to go from right here to there, you know, here to there, it ain't gonna work. This 3/8 filter, they couldn't get me anything smaller. So I mean, it is what it is. I'll fix it later. I'll make something to fix this issue, but for now it's zip tied to the frame and it's not going to go anywhere. It's out of the steering and everything else, so it's going to be fine. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, if you're ever putting a pump on one of these, you got to take that power steering pump off, and that's fun. You got a bolt here. It's a 13, a 15 down there, and then you got a 15 on the back, and then loosens it like this. You move it out of the way, and you got complete access to that pump, just like so. Complete access, way more room. So I'm not sure what's leaking there. I'll have to figure that out. I hope that it's not the pump itself. And I really don't want to go through the hassle of having to throw another one on, because it's not fun trying to do that. So the gas tank part number right there, GM16A. And now I ordered some stuff from LMC Truck. Man, I tell you, that took about a week and a half to get here. I don't know why, but whatever. The main thing is the stuff I ordered, you know, is not much. So I don't know why it took so long, but there's the part number for the gas tank anti-squeak, they call it. It's pretty much the strap, whatever you call it, insulators is what it's called, to keep from rubbing, causing a problem, like if you get in a wreck or electricity or rubbing in the tank, putting a hole in it. This is what that's for. It's very, very thin, just some rubber inserts that go in before the tank. The vent hose that goes like this, that's that guy. There's your part number. Check that out. $10 for that, $10 for this. This was about 17 bucks. This is the filler neck hose, and apparently it didn't tell you online, but you got to cut to fit. Awesome. Appreciate that. I should have left that in the details. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be I don't think that's going to work. So we're going to have to cut this, measure twice, cut once. What else we got? We got fuel line hose, vent hose, return, supply, all that stuff, because the hoses that came off of this tank, I mean, were just absolutely trash. They were completely disintegrated. You can see the rust, but I mean, the main thing is another reason I'm changing it, so it's less stress on the pump. Some people are going to comment, well, I've ran the mechanical pump and it sucked through my tank that had a pump in the tank, and it did fine. Yeah, mine did too, for about 3 years, 3.5 years, something like that, maybe 4. But I'm not going to do that anymore. I'd rather it have a free flow like it's supposed to have. Another thing too is my sending unit's junk. When it got to about 1/4 of a tank, it told me I had, you know, I was low, close to E, and then I ended up having at least 5 gallons in it, so it wasn't registering right. So we get all this taken care of, get this stuff laid out. I'm sure this is going to be fun, trying to get this to stay on the tank while I put the straps on. I'll have to take some adhesive of something I've got, maybe some copper adhesive for intake or head gaskets, just a little bit of a spray to put on the new tank so it'll stay. Try to do with this with one hand. There we go. Now that is a big difference from a 13 to a 20. Way better. Get better gas mileage in a sense. I won't have to stop at every daggone gas station. Because with this sucker, I'm getting about, well, With the old engine, that is, I was getting somewhere around like 16 miles to the gallon, something like that. So, and that was with the old tank. So who knows? And that was with the old engine too. You know, I haven't tested it with this engine. I haven't really had time because after I put this engine in, 2 weeks after that, transmission went out. Just my luck. I guess that's just how she goes, huh? My question is, when does the chaos stop? When does, you know, when is it, you know, the dominoes just quit? I've done nothing but, well, let's put the fuel pump died. Let's change that. And then I was like, well, I need to be putting a 20-gallon tank in this thing so I can get more gas mileage, at least some, out of this thing. And then it turned into, well, sending unit shot. Let's go ahead and get a sending unit. That took forever to get. Let's get, the gas tank, and then the hoses, and then another week and a half for this junk. So, I don't know. It don't stop. Oh, another thing too, real quick. This guy, so I have a 2-wire pin connector. Pink is your sending unit signal. The tan looking guy right here to the right is the one that controls fuel pump. So if you're trying to drain the tank like I did, that's your power wire to the fuel pump, for whatever reason, if you may need to know that. But this sending unit only has 1, not 2. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. It only has 1. So what I'm going to do is, I've got this connector from the junkyard. I'm going to cut the wire off that I don't need all the way down, splice it into this wiring harness, and then plug it up just like it would if it had 2-wire connector. That way it's neat, clean looking, put away, and nothing gets inside of this side, because this guy will not lock into the 2-pin connector over there because it needs the middle clip altogether. So that fixes all that issue. Plug that up. I need to check the sending unit, make sure that guy works. So anyway, we'll get this buttoned up when we get the sending unit in that tank. And but it did come with a the new gasket and lockdown ring, so that's sweet. And we'll start getting all this stuff fitted up. Like I said, I'm going to use some copper spray or something on this to get this thing to lay down to the tank. I don't want it to slide and move around. First things first is get the tank in, figure out exactly where it's touching, because I've already taken the straps or the insulators off of that tank because I thought I could use them, and then it just tore to shreds. So put the tank in, kind of get it to where it's going to sit when it's bolted in, and it looks like it goes all the way down to about that lip, almost. But it touches a lot all the way around. Yeah. And then as for this side, use my foot. It's going to come down like that. So this one's going to need it. That's going to fit. I may have to beat in the lip right here some so it'll clear and go straight into the hole bracket down there. And then back here too is hitting some. So we're going to go down to about here. And then this one's about the same here or so. And then this one, I already know. The bottom, I think the bottom is still on here. Yeah. Huh. That one's got a baffle inside. I can still hear the gasoline mixing around. This one doesn't have a baffle in it. That's kind of... Why in the world they didn't do that, I don't know. I don't know where I left off, but here we are. So the gas tank is halfway in. That adhesive stuff sucks. I mean, I know it's $10, but still, you got to pay $10 more for shipping. I could have just went to Amazon and got stuff off of Amazon, probably a little cheaper, that was a little bit more easy to move around maneuver, because that stuff there sucks. It's like cardboard, and this is what came off. It's more pliable, sort of. But I mean, this is like, what is that? It looks like some knockoff sandpaper rolled up into a ball, or some melted cardboard or whatever. But anyway, so had to run to the store. Harbor Freight picked up some of this, like 13 bucks a can, adhesive spray, just so that I could, spray the whole tank down where the straps go, and then take the straps, place them down so they stick, and then pull the strap over and then bolt it down, because they're going to move around and everything else and get out of whack by trying to adjust the tank to where it needs to be, especially the bottom set. So those are already glued in, so to speak. Doesn't really work too well with it being so daggum cold out here, but it's doing its job, I guess. This one didn't tear off, the little insulator inserts, so I'm going to leave it on the frame since it's original. Does better in this aftermarket junk. And just 3 of them are going to be insulated with the new fabric, whatever this is. So you pretty much just I measured and cut. You can see my mark right there with the marker. Don't want to breathe this stuff in. Of course, I ain't wearing a mask, so I can't say too much. Just coat it, because this stuff, I don't know, don't really want to stick. And then you want to coat the other side of that and then slap it on. So like I say, I coated both sides, but it doesn't want to adhere to the tank too well. It says you got to put pressure on it. You know, being less than probably 40 out here, it don't help. So, it's good enough. It ain't gonna move. So get that strap there that almost hit me in the face several times, and put that back in here. I beat down the side of the gas tank a little bit just so it'll clear this area, because that's the way the other tank was, and I don't know why they didn't do that, but I did it, and it should be just fine. So anywhere where it was going to interfere with things like this right here, I bit that down, and that one down there as well, so it'll clear better and be able to bolt up. Something else I'm going to add in here, some anti-seize, because the bolts came out of this thing kind of rusty, and they were a pain in the butt to get out, especially this nut, which is the one that goes to that stud right there. The threads on that are kind of rough, and it bent it up as I was taking it back out. So I'm going to coat the threads of that one, coat the threads of that bolt, and throw those in. Alright, so gas tank is bolted in, and if I didn't mention it already, there is 2 15mm bolts that one's a nut, one's a bolt that holds the gas tank in. Of course, the one is right down here on the bottom side I'm going to show you, and the other one over there. You're going to need a deep weld for this strap. That one doesn't need it, but you can use both. So that one's straight up there. Make sure that you have the plastic piece that I put back in, as you can see it, that goes before the strap against the gas tank. And then this one, you can see this stuff just ripped after putting that in here. Junk. This one's a nut, so you're going to need a deep weld with that guy to get that one out. Now there's a little, I think it's a 13 that goes here, and a washer, because there's supposed to be a cover. As you notice, the cover don't fit. The cover's here, the bracket's here. So I gotta go to the junkyard. Not a problem. There's tons of S10s around. It has to be from a pickup, of course, and pick up another plastic cover that goes on the front half of the gas tank. That's where the cab's at. So that's not a big deal. Need to go ahead and throw in the sitting unit and all that stuff. Get that done. You're gonna need a jack stand, something like this, with a piece of wood to hold it up, because you can't do it at the same time. This little rascal here was a pain in the butt. I had to use a crowbar like this to wedge as it came down from the side of the tank through the frame into this bracket. Probably would have helped if I took the bracket actually off of the frame and tried to mount this together, but you could do that. There's only like four, I think it's like 15 millimeters that take it out from the frame, and put this at least strap on and then put it back into the truck. Probably would have been a lot easier. But anyway, took a crowbar, pried against it, pop it back into this little groove of the hole, and then away you go. Alright, so we got this in. The O-ring, of course, goes before underneath the sending unit. And I've already tested the sending unit off camera. Usually what you want to do is lay the O-ring into the little groove of the gas tank. Probably should have done that first. Lay it kind of like in the groove. It's supposed to fit a little bit better than that. I got another one I may try that came with the gas tank. It's somewhere. Alright, so I was right. I had a feeling. Of course, the one that came with the gas tank actually fits better. And to my eyes, and by squeezing it, this one is a lot thicker. Or is thicker than this little guy. This one is not as thick that came with the sending unit. So I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use the one that came with the gas tank. See how that does. Could take some Vaseline, rub across that so it doesn't rip the seal. Or you can use WD-40. I'm going to use WD-40 on the lines before I put the hoses on, because it'll make it a lot easier to slap in. So there's a set groove right here where the sending unit locks itself in. There's two spots. Just like so. And then the lock ring goes on top. Alright, so I need to get the filling neck hose out, start measuring and cutting to pop that guy on. In the meantime, go ahead and put all this stuff back on. The ground wire goes here, of course. Of course, if you kind of know some of this, if you've already started taking yours apart and was curious, yeah, the ground wire goes here. And then, like I said, I got to make that connector real quick. Splice that on, plug that into that. That'll be done. And then put the hoses on and get that filling neck hose on. Alright, so it's the next day. You see the filling neck hose is on, vent hose is on, clamped down. Everything is clamped down like it's supposed to be. I have it plugged up for now. I dumped 5 gallons of gas in the tank. So we're going to test it, make sure there's no leaks. I went ahead and filled up the carburetor bowl. So it should fire right up without a problem. And I've already pumped it, so see what happens. And that's what 5 gallons of gas gets me, about a fourth of the tank, so at least I know that now. And I can trust it. Right up. Can't really feel it pulsating. Oh yeah, it's pulling it. Real good. Look at that flow. Wow. So much better. So much better. Hey, it's one healthy 2.8. In case you're wondering, it's a Flowmaster 40 series. Only thing is, it is idling a little high, even though it is cold, but that's the fan shroud hitting the fan as the front end's messed up. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, a 20 gallon will swap over from a 13. Just like that. It's easy. Actually not that bad. So everything seems to be good. I don't see any leaks. I'm going to run it like this a little longer. I'm not going to put the bed back on. I still have a lot of other things I want to do to this truck, including a transmission swap I'm halfway in the middle of doing. So it just kind of really snowballed effect on me. I definitely want to paint the frame. So it's got to go to a car wash. I tried washing it under the carport. That didn't work. And that was just a garden hose. I actually need a pressure washer with some purple power. And the temperatures are crazy. It's windy today. The tarps are all over the place. So at least this part's done. I ain't got to worry about freezing my butt trying to deal with a gas tank and all that stuff. So anyway, we're going to clean the frame, paint it, and then I got to put dual exhaust on it before the bed goes on, because it'd be a lot easier with all the tubes and the pipes and stuff that I got to mount up and do to the frame. So I'm going to do all that first, and then after that we'll put the bed back on. But for y'all guys, that's pretty much it. You can swap from a 13 to a 20-gallon gas tank in your 82 to 93 Chevy S10, two-wheel drive, extended cab, four-wheel drive, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. And it all started with a simple fuel pump replacement on the block that just escalated it into, well, while I'm here, why don't we just, do this, A, B, C, D, and it just went crazy. And that's just how it happens on projects sometimes. But we're getting there. This truck's coming around. So at least I have a filter down here now. Pump's replaced. Gas tank's new. The fuel lines that were to the tank down here, the supply line, it was completely when it was hooked up, it was like pinched off, so there wasn't enough flow coming through. And I have a feeling that there's a sock pickup tube problem in the other tank. I never took the sending unit out to see, but I'm assuming that's what happened, and it killed the pump on the block. So instead of having that issue go again, I figured, well, I'll just go ahead and do a tank, because I wanted to do that ever since I've had this truck. Two, I wanted to go ahead and put a sending unit in it because the gauge is wonky. And then that's when I found the fuel line was crimped, and a bunch of other things. So that's going to do it. I hope this helps out for somebody. I wasn't going to do this video, but I figured somebody's out there that's not had experience, or maybe doesn't really know they're getting into these trucks, and they want to swap either another gas tank, or they want to go from, like I did, a 13 to a 20, because it's a lot more than a little tiny 13-gallon tank. So like, share, subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think. And as always, I will catch you guys later in the next one coming. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.